Okay, so welcome everyone on YouTube.
Hello.
Whoever is watching now
Nice to
later.
meet you.
So why are we here? We have a title, just to have a title, and then we will see where it goes. You are not who you think you are. The illusion of identity.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing, and it seems for the mind a big thing, of course, because to grab this, to understand it, you can in some way, but to really get it, the mind cannot get it totally. That's the good news.
But maybe to start the whole topic, we can try to see where it comes from. So there is this idea of having a separate body, being separate from the other one.
It's the idea, but it's not just an idea. I mean, if you just now, you look at us, you see a separate person, of course, so that appears separate. And this is a perception. We perceive others as separate. And then the problem is that we take it as the reality. And earlier we were talking about this today, that what does it mean when we say real or reality? Of course, it's a kind of an experience. It's a real experience that this is like separate, or also like you can feel your feelings as if it was separate, so that there is a perceiving.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is a kind of a real experience. So on the relative level of truth, it is here. But what we are saying when we say that this is not reality, we say that there is something more
Stable.
There is something more than our perception.
So all perceptions are coming and going. So there is a time when they were not there, and there is a time when they are here, and then there is a time when they are gone. Just look at it like, each of us had an experience, maybe where they were afraid about something, maybe in their childhood, whatever. And then later we learn about this something. And our fears, we see through them, we learn it's not that frightening anymore. For example, my mother, when she was a child, she was very much afraid by the vacuum cleaner. It was a loud something making noise and somehow looked strange. It's a normal fear of a child. We grow up, we learn about it. We don't have to be afraid. So for a while, it was real that this machine somehow frightens. And then it was not real anymore. And that's a perception. So all perceptions are changing. And when you look at your own life, you can see this. Maybe even 1 or 2 years ago, something was real for you, and now you learned more about it, and your way of thinking has changed. So it's not
So you
real.
perceive it then
In a different way.
Differently. And also how we perceive things are also different. So how different people see the same thing differently. So the world is not the world is not as you see it, and not even like how we see it. These are different maps of the same appearance.
Each of us has its own lenses we use to look towards the world, and we use to look towards ourselves. And that this is why we think the world is like this and that, or we are like this and that. And these lenses are different with all of us. That's called the fixation. So
yeah, this is what we also learned from our teachers, especially from Eli, the Enneagram, which really shows you how it is like a machine, our program, our perception of the world. There are like nine different characters, fixations, as Harald said.
yeah.
And so this is what we think that we are. We think that we think that we are what we think.
So we are our failures, we are our successes, we are our relations, we are our gender, we are this physical body, we are our thoughts, our emotions. But all of this are coming and going continuously.
And so because of this false belief that we think that we are separate from God, there is suffering.
So this is very important. This is the root of all the suffering, that we are separate identities, that we are separate from the source, however we may call it, God,
or
enlightenment, home.
That you are separate from what you are looking for. You think that you are separate from you, from that which is always here, which is closer than your breath. When it's always here, you have never been separate. You cannot be separate. And when you really stop, you see that there is no one here to be separate from. This is a false belief, it's a false conditioned idea which we heard somewhere along our childhood and then in society, that we are separate. And since we think that we are separate from that which we are looking for, we go on a search again away from what is here.
Looking for everything. So there is this somehow this information, I need something, and I get it out there, whatever it might be. Love, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, relations, power, money, whatever. Be part of the society, and we go out there looking for it. So this leak of being cut off from the source creates the dynamic to go out and search for what is missing. And on some level, we might be successful. We get this or that, but after a while, it is losing its taste, and we go on. And that's called suffering. This is actually the root of all suffering, this misidentification, or this feeling of being cut off from the source, cut off from yourself. And when you look at it like this, so you heard this now, that everything comes from this perception, that we are separate and that each perception is actually changing, there is a crack. So it opens the mind for a moment.
Yeah, exactly. So when you hear the truth, that's why it's so important also was for us as well to come to satsang, to hear it, to hear the truth. Although it cannot be put into words, but you can hear what is not true. We can point you out also what is not true. And by hearing that, you realize it, wow, let me see. They are right. My perception is changing all the time. That cannot be the final truth. Wow, different people have different idea about the world. That also cannot be trustworthy if it's like that. Oh, and then you come to this crack that brings, yeah, I said that like cuts a crack in your belief system, and you can fall through.
If you use this moment of realizing there is an opening in the belief system, and when being free is really what you want, you use this moment and dive in and figure out for yourself, who am I if I am not this person, this gender, this whatever? Who are you then? Without the narrative, without your experience, without your thoughts, emotions, body feelings, the whole story. You leave the whole story for one moment away. You don't pick it up. Just for one moment. What's left then? And from what you can experience, then you can ask the question, so what's missing there? And this is also the reason why it's so difficult, or actually not possible, to talk about the freedom of who you are, because it is free. And freedom by itself is defined as, or it cannot be defined by anything, otherwise it wouldn't be freedom. So everything we use for a definition follows certain rules and structures, just as a language. But freedom doesn't follow any rule, any structure. So we have to fail when we talk about it, and still we try and give our best. This is a challenge, to find out who you are. It's not for everyone. As we can see, it's really radical. It means losing everything. It can really trigger fear in most people when they hear the truth that these are just perceptions. This is only a thought. Because then, of course, there is everything shaken. Your identity is shaken. What you thought to be real as your identity, as your story, you thought that there is safety there in who you think you are.
whereas it is a lot of work to keep it together, but you thought that there was safety there, and then you hear that this is not real, this is not the reality.
It's just my belief system.
Then there is a fear which comes up about, who am I then? Then I am nobody. And nobody. I was just talking to a friend today, and we were talking about, after retirement, when you have nothing to do anymore, then how you feel yourself useless. Because we heard it, even in our childhood, we were brought up like this, that, if you work hard, if you are somebody, then you are really worth something. Otherwise, you are worthless.
Accepted in the society.
Otherwise, you are worthless and you are not accepted in society. So they even implanted in us this fear. If you are not doing all the time and not working hard, and you are not becoming somebody, then you will be, alienated. You will be almost like killed by society because you are then nobody. And of course, there is this fear which is in us, conditioned as well. But you can face this fear when you hear the truth that it's okay. You don't have to become someone in order to be loved. You don't have to have the perfect job, the perfect personality to be loved. Then, of course, there is of course this fear, but then it doesn't matter. You can sit with it. Yeah, because then you understand, as we are seeing it now, then you understand that this is, so to speak, just an existential fear, or even, less than that. It's even like a social fear, a survival fear. And as our teacher, Gangaji and Eli, helped us, we're also here to support you. That's why there is satsang for, that when this fear arises, we can welcome it and you can go deeper. What is this fear? Where do I feel it in my body? And what is deeper?
So you can use this fear as an invitation.
You can go deeper. That fear is the gateway in. And you are supported by your own self, by your own heart and love, and all the teachers.
Who went
by
this
our
way
teachers,
before you?
by our teachers or other teachers, Gangaji, Eli. This was such help for us, or Ramana, Papaji, or for others there is Nisargadatta Maharaj or whoever. It's here, there is support here. If you are willing to stop and see what is really here. Where is this happiness which I am looking for? So, and you can support yourself really by visiting satsang, or wherever, even Ramana said, wherever you feel called for. If you feel called for doing some, exercises, like meditation exercises, if you are called for that, you do that. Whatever is coming back to yourself, to trust yourself, what's working for you, and coming to satsang, to be together in the sangha and to hear the truth, investigate yourself, inquire into yourself, and it's all being taken care of. Your awakening is already happening. Although in the end there is nothing happening, but you have already been called. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. That's the truth. Otherwise you wouldn't hear this. You wouldn't be interested in this. So you already know all this. You already know all this. Just want to come more and more to, how shall I say, alignment with it. That's also, of course, a lie, but there is a human level here, of course.
And we don't have to deny this.
And we don't, definitely not. The humanness. You are a human being with emotions, with everything, all the catastrophe of the humankind. You have to embrace the human.
But this is not who you are. This is the point.
Mm-hmm.
This appears in you. The source actually is the root of all this humanness, emotions, thoughts, feelings, whatever. That's where the truth of who you are is the foundation of the truth of who you are. Not the story, not the narrative. And of course, I mean, every story somehow gives support because there is stability, even if it's a bad story, if it's not such a good story, if it's a story of failing, of being miserable or whatever, it still gives stability in some kind.
You mean safety?
No, safety.
Safety.
Yeah, safety. So it's
oh yeah, it's like really we are. It reminds me of this, like we are telling stories to children to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Is to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
So we also tell ourselves the stories in ourselves that keeps us in this in this story and safe.
The story in which we like to believe in. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a story, we make ourselves frightened. Also depends on the fixation. Some of us like this, or not like this, but they are drawn to this. Some others of us are drawn to a story which is more an adventure story, a funful story.
Or someone to a horror story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of us are more drawn to a drama story.
Someone more to like action.
So if you do you want to add something? No.
I wanted to add something. Yeah, just so like a disclaimer kind of thing. But we were already talking about is that probably, if you are here for the first time or later on, if someone is listening from YouTube, just to hear is that it's definitely not for everyone, and it's radical in a sense. Yeah, so if you are drawn to it, then you can trust it. Why you are drawn to it. Yeah, you have realized that whatever you tried, it doesn't work. So you want to really question those belief systems, those identities, even more identities, that these illusions in yourself. And that's great. And then you can go beyond. This is really non-dualities, if we can call it like this. Our teacher never called it like anything, like non-duality or whatever, but this is that direction. This is about going beyond the person. So it's not therapy in the classical sense, although therapeutical, methods or skills can come up here also when we are talking to people. But it's not psychotherapy. We are not working on your personal story to have a better,
to give you a better personal story.
Or we are inviting you to use your life story to find out who you really are, what is really here, what is this love, what is in your heart that is calling you. And yeah. So what's happening here, this is as we said, it can be called non-duality, but as you said, Gangaji and Lila, they never called it like this, or Advaita Vedanta, but it's, this knowledge of nothingness and emptiness is also in Sufism, Rumi. Probably what we are talking about is more a Vedanta, so because it's Ramana's lineage.
But as soon as we try to frame it into some ism, it gets a structure, rules, and people try to learn this, whereas actually we don't plan this talks.
So we are just like you. Just like our teacher Rangel said, I am just like you. We are normal people. We are not a master. We are not a guru. Although you can see us like this, that also doesn't matter, because we don't want to take this personally. It's also our staying true to what we have realized, that we don't touch these rules. We are ordinary human beings working the working life, with family life. And just as our teacher said, and even like Papaji he was living a normal life.
As a householder. And before this, we were at the army. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we invite you, if there are any questions or reports, you can write to us in the chat. Or, of course, you can talk. Your picture will not be shown.
Yes, because so this works like this, that there is a Zoom meeting, which is now being broadcasted to YouTube. If you want to come to the Zoom meetings, you can do that by going into this description below this live stream, and there is the link to come in there. And who are already in the Zoom, then you can ask questions. Your audio will be heard also on YouTube, but not your picture. And you can also write in the chat. Yeah, you are invited to also and join us on Tuesdays. We also have some the silent sitting, which is very, very supporting as well, to come home to rest in your silence, in yourself. Oh, I have to go to, so let's see. It's going on there. Nothing is going.
So everything is clear. That's good. Okay, so that's the end of our talk. Thanks for listening. And we hope to see you next time again.
Yes. Yeah, next Sunday at 4:30. Everything goes right. And Tuesdays. Okay, so bye for now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.